So welcome everybody today to the Tuesday talk by the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Studies. And I'm very happy to introduce to you our speaker, Natalia Realpe Carrillo. Natalia is our second Klaus Töpfer Sustainability Fellow and has joined the IASS in November last year. She is an engineer by training and holds a PhD from the Energy Engineering Institute from the Technical University of Berlin. She is the co-founder of Hedera Sustainable Solutions, a Berlin-based tech company that focuses on digital solutions for sustainable development, and is the co-leader of the European microfinance platform Green, Inclusive, and Climate Smart Finance. Today, she will present on her work at the Institute, her project, Impact-Driven and Action-Based Research, establishing collaborative frameworks for researchers, impact makers, and sustainability entrepreneurs. Just a quick reminder, as usual, we will record this session. And now, Natalia, please, the digital floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Joachim. Welcome everybody to this Tuesday talk from the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Studies. I'm very happy and glad to see you here connected today, especially being pre-Easter time or during Easter time, and also interested in this project. As Joachim has said, here, my goal today is to show you the IMPACTR project and to show you what is it about, what is our main goal, the objectives, what are the activities that we will undertake in the next months, with whom are we working, how to join the different activities that we are going to develop together, and here also enable a floor to discuss with you about your questions and comments to this project. So what is it about? Impact-driven and action-based research wants to establish collaboration frameworks between researchers, impact makers such as you, and sustainable entrepreneurs. This is a project in the framework of my Klaus Töpfer Sustainability Fellowship at the Institute, starting from November 2020 for a year. And this is also related to my background and my experience that I've been working with microfinance institutions or in the microfinance sector, supporting them to diversify their portfolio to offer solutions for enabling energy access. I also founded the company Hedera Sustainable Solutions based in Germany, where we aim to develop digital solutions for impact measurement and e-learning. It will be good, Stephanie, if you can turn off your microphones, would be good. Thank you. Yeah. Then we have, so the overall aim is establish these links, especially in developing countries, with the purpose of investigating innovative SDG assessment methodologies tailored to both the public and private sector. These methodologies we have already developed and brought this from Hedera tools. I think some of you have the microphone on. Okay, thank you. So now with the purpose of investigating these assessment methodologies in order to track the progress of SDGs achievements household by household and indicator by indicator. And this now with the main objectives of understanding, identifying, and quantifying what are the client or beneficiaries' vulnerabilities in access to basic services and promoting inclusive green finance for developing solutions for vulnerable populations. Summarizing, we want to know where are the vulnerabilities, how to support communities to enable access to basic services, and establish those partnerships of stakeholders in order to provide such solutions. For these, the goals First, we're going to collect high quality household data to foster the collaboration between the stakeholders. We're going to analyze the nexus between access to energy, access to clean water and sanitation, and food security, support organizations in improving access to basic services, and promote tools and provide recommendations to microfinance institutions, NGOs, and suppliers on how to satisfy these basic needs. Why are we doing this? I think there is a great framework in research, and is the freedom that we have to pose questions, which is not the freedom that companies have. And also that foundations, whether or if they have this motivation, they have the difficulties to invest in this type of activities. And here with the scope of research, but also establishing these links with other stakeholders, we want to have the tools and the medium to understand what are the needs of the population beyond the national statistics and the households of where you as NGOs or as microfinance institutions are working with. We want to identify, implement, and improve tools to measure the impact of products and services that enhance access to basic services, namely to energy, to water, to food security, raise awareness on how to plan, ensure, and promote sustainable development, identify the best solutions and strategies to support organizations in helping their communities, and develop the green products that can provide access to services and ensure better quality of life. And ensuring this by tracking also the indicators and the impact of each microfinance institution or each NGO in their work. So the methods are that we're going first to assess the needs of the population based on international frameworks. We're analyzing the market with respect to different services and products, like how seeing in detail what are the needs assessment results, and also doing on the stakeholder map in regards to these SDGs. Monitor the progress of sustainable development issues at household level with the impact assessment studies, and improve household access to basic services by developing green inclusive products. In the framework of the fellowship, there are like these three main phases. We have one, the data and stakeholder mapping. Second, the action-based research. And third, the guideline for assessment methodologies. We are finalizing, or like not finalizing, we are in the middle and finalizing this data and stakeholder mapping, establishing a network of stakeholders, which are all of you that are here today joining us, as well as the ones that we have been doing research from our desk research, identifying databases related to energy, water and sanitation, and hygiene and food security, identifying which tools are used at the international level, from the World Bank, from the UN, and frameworks to measure access to this. Then we have the second phase, which is the action-based research, which is the project that we're going to start, or that we have already started soon, addressing the research questions that relate access to energy with access to water and sanitation and food security. And based on the results of this data collection, then develop recommendations and concrete solutions for organizations working with vulnerable populations. And then developing guidelines for assessment methodologies on how to assess energy for households and productive uses. Also as well, to evaluate what is the viability to combine such assessments for energy, for wash and food security, and provide feedback to the international institutions, organizations that have developed such frameworks, as is the case for the multi-tier framework or for the joint monitoring program. So the international frameworks that we are using and are going to implement are from the multi-tier framework, from the energy sector management assistance program from the World Bank, the joint monitoring program for the evaluation of WASH, and for food security, the framework from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Also, we have included tools from the PPI and the Poverty Probability Index to measure poverty assessment, And these surveys are come together with a household roster survey that, depending on the organization, if they already are collecting this information or it is new to them, we can include it or not. I'm going now to explain what is happening, how is it going to happen, these data collection projects based on these frameworks, and the ones that will start very soon. We have the questionnaires and surveys that we have provided for access to energy, wash, and food security. And according to the needs, all the three to be implemented, or a combination of two, and they are available in different languages. And according to the institution, then they will select the language and also other questions that can be available that can also be implemented. Then we have the set of questions. The set of questionnaires have a different duration. The questionnaire for wash lasts up to 10 minutes. The energy, if you connected the household or the business, up to 15 minutes, and for food security from 8 to 11 minutes. And then depending on the others, now the time can vary accordingly. The tools for data collection come from EDERA. The data, we are going to use the IMPACT toolkit, which is the data collection app, and the dashboard, which will be installed remotely. We will also conduct trainings for the participants, provide access to a password-protected data panel or data monitor dashboard. The data can be exported in Excel or CVS format, and questions can be added to the surveys, so it is flexible. And it's available as well. The tools are available in different languages, and the tools are accessible for the period of 1 year, so that after this baseline of the data collection and after implementation of a green product, green service, or any type of program that the organization has, we can as well measure or collect data again of the households after 1 year or 6 months or 1 year in order to see what has changed over time. For the field work, each organization can decide whether they are doing this with the loan officers or sales staff or external persons or students that are hired by the institution or that will work together with them. The data collection will be done with digitized surveys on Android cell phones, and photographs can be taken for the cooking devices, for toilets, for evaluating also the space for clean energy technology installations. And for open questions on subjective topics, audio recordings can also be enabled. For the field work, the total survey duration can vary from 20 to 40 minutes. Internet connection is not required. The data is uploaded automatically to the cloud when the phone connects to the internet, and organizations that require focus groups or in-depth interviews, it is possible to organize them and also to enable some audio or video features in their questionnaires. The timeline that we have is that we are in the past weeks, and still we will say 1 week more in the preparation stage, where we are also revising the questionnaires. Then we're going to do an enumerator training that will last 2 weeks. And we're going to train the project coordinators, and from the project coordinators, it will be a train the trainer approach so that the enumerators can also be trained. And then during 8 weeks, there will be the supervision of the data collection campaigns. So now the different activities that we have are, we have webinars. We are also going to conduct workshops and trainings, not only for the organizations that are going to start soon with their data collection, but beyond. We are conducting research parallel also to these data collection projects, and starting also a podcast series at the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Study, and conduct video blogs. For the research participants, let me show you who we have. So where is this research happening? I'm here showing different organizations, and the organizations that are going to do data collection campaigns is microfinance institution Mi Crédito from Nicaragua, Entrepreneurs du Monde together with the MFI Palmis in Haiti, and Senegal, Fansoto from Entrepreneurs du Monde. In Uganda, Penda Capital, an MFI Penda Capital, Zambia, an NGO for WASA. In India, the consortium between a university, an NGO, and a microfinance institution. And in Nepal, the microfinance institution Mukti Vikas Bank. As well, not together with these organizations that will start their data collection, we have as well further organizations that will conduct also data collection projects. In Guyana Francesa, Fronesis, in DRC, Climate Change, Africa Opportunities, in Rwanda, the African Center of Excellence, Energy for Sustainable Development, together with the NGO Foundation, Sustainable Villages Foundation from Germany. And in Colombia, a project with Uni Magdalena in TU Berlin. And these organizations will use the tools that also we will be using in these data collection campaigns, more in relation to energy access and WASH, and as well food security. So these are the organizations, and I think many of them are here with us today, the project coordinator. So at the end, if you have also questions, or if you would like to share your motivations and some words on what are your interests, and yeah, what are your key expectations and motivations of this project, you can participate. And besides, as I said, we have also the impact assessment and baseline and needs assessment conducted by Sustainable Villages Foundation in collaboration with the University of Rwanda, the African Center of Excellence, Energy for Sustainable Development, where we're in the pilot village Bisagara in Bugesera in Rwanda. We will conduct a baseline and needs assessment with the usage of the tools and under the umbrella of the IMPACT-R project. In Colombia, we are going to conduct an energy access assessment, baseline and needs assessment in Pueblo Viejo, Colombia, with Uni Magdalena, TU Berlin, in the framework of an Engagement Global project. And besides these data collection projects, we are going also to start a podcast series. So the upcoming, organized with Grace Mungu from the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Studies, we are going to start a series called What Does It Take to Change Cooking Habits? And this will be done also in partnership with the data. And on the trainings, we have, we will conduct trainings for those that will start their data collection campaigns, and also for those that would like to join us on digital platform for project management and technical support during implementation, trainings on how to develop the questionnaire and how to revise it, training on a mobile survey app and installation, and as well on the data visualization and analysis. And our next webinars, the next one is next week, April 8th, with Penda Capital on microfinance and energy supply in the framework of the European Microfinance Platform Green, Inclusive and Climate Smart Action Group series, a webinar series where I am co-leading this action group, and Penda Capital will share to the sector of microfinance how are these linkages and how are these business models providing financing to renewable energy equipments work in Uganda. Then the next one on April 13 with University of Rwanda on the development of renewable energy systems, energy transition in Africa. And this webinar is also an invitation for you to join us on these activities. We are going to conduct the webinars, workshops, research podcasts, video blogs. And if you lack a new format, you are also you feel free and welcome to comment or to propose. In the website impactr.org, there is a contact form at the end, and you can write your name and get in touch and propose where would you like to participate or which format would you like to propose. Our next goal, and the idea is, and following the goal of enabling these environments for these organizations that are doing the data collection and for them to help their communities, we want to propose some research questions in these focus regions in DRC, in Senegal, Rwanda, Uganda, Zambia, Colombia, Guyana, French Guyana, Haiti, Nicaragua, India, Nepal, for master thesis, PhD research, or seminars around questions that can enable them environments for enhancing access to basic services. As well, we will have a final international conference in December together with the organization Convergence, and this is planned by the end of the year. So there will be a call for proposals for the participation at this conference, and as well for the organization of it. And this is it as introduction to the impact-driven and action-based research. If you have questions, please let us know. Here we are opening the floor for discussion. The IMPACTR is hosted at the Institute for Advanced Sustainability Studies and is funded by the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, FONA, and Land Brandenburg. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalia. And indeed, we have now plenty of time for comments and questions. If you have a question, then you can either raise your hand if your camera is on, and if I see you, actually, I will call your name upon. Or alternatively, you can write your question into the chat, or just say you have a question or comment, actually. And I would kindly ask you, if you are posing your question, please say your name and the organization you're working with, so that we know actually who is posing the question from which point. So with this short introduction, who would like to start with a comment or question? If anyone has one.
Yes, Soundarajan.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Natalia, for your brief overview about the project. It's really interesting as well. I'm just looking forward to work with you, the data collection process, and more on the research side as well. I have two questions. One is, you mentioned that water, food, energy, sanitation nexus. We're also going to analyze this aspect. When it comes to water, food, energy, even access, different countries have different standards, benchmark levels. Are we going to measure these things on a quantitative basis, or are we going to measure it based on the people's perception basis?
You mean in regards to the access to the basic services?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have two ways, or not two ways, but we have these international frameworks where they are not subjective and they are not qualitative, but rather quantitative. Although some questions or some indicators might have some qualitative indicators, but there is, the analysis will be mainly quantitative. If you would like to have also analysis of perceptions, culture, cultural background, traditions, behavioral changes, this can be added to the current frameworks.
Oh, thank you. I think it's very clear. It's quantitative mainly.
Yes.
Yes. Then my next question is the tools and framework to measure access. Are we having those tools already, or are we going to develop down the line?
And we have already the tools ready, and we will provide the training for giving introduction on each framework for WASH, for energy access assessment, as well as for the food security framework.
Oh, okay, then. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Sound.
Thank you very much. Who would like to go next, actually, with another comment or question? From Lieutenant Navana, yes, the slides will be shared, or let's say they will be part of the presentation, so it will be available afterwards to look at them again.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions or comments or topics you would like to raise? Just looking.
Hello guys, here Meryl speaking from Phronesis, French Guiana. Do you hear me correct?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Meryl.
Hello, Natalia. Hello, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. So I was not selected in the whole frame as it was, but of course, I'm very interested in the project in itself. So I'm from French Guiana. And actually, I think it is very interesting for us to be part of the data set, to have a comparative framework and see what we can do here to propose some solutions. So that's the reason why we are involved, and we will see how we can do our best to give all the data collection we can within the framework. I have one question about this. What does happen to the data collection if it's collected out of the 8 weeks for the data collection as it is in the project? Is it a problem, or can we collect data on the long term and have something on the long run?
Yeah. So we are planning these 8 weeks with the organizations that that have been awarded the funding, so that we have these established contracts. And in any case, for those organizations that will start in the next months the data collection, as we said, we are going to enable access to them for over the period of a year. We are expecting this, we are counting with these 8 weeks so that we can have now a baseline data collection, and then after 6 months, you can also conduct a second data collection, and then after a year, again, another one, so that you can track these indicators. If you say that the baseline, your baseline or your first data collection will take more time than this period or until September, just make sure that if you have a second data collection is before next April 2022. So that you can have some period to compare indicators. If ideally the goal is that you can track with this on these international standards. Okay.
Okay, thanks. In the meantime, a couple of questions have come up in the chat. The first one is from Halumba. Is there any opportunity for other organizations to participate in the project outside those you have mentioned?
Yeah, so we have the data collection campaigns, especially, and I think that was a very interesting call for tenders that we had, because or how the selection process went was not only on the economic proposal, but also on the need. Who needs to know exactly this information, or for whom is this data this precious, so that they can take decisions or they can work for developing solutions or projects in their communities. if, as Fronesis and other organizations, if you really are interested to use the tools and you have a project that will be soon launched and you need a baseline data collection, or you want to implement this framework so that you can report to your municipalities and municipalities then to their governments, or if this baseline or if this data can provide you opportunities for acquiring funding for a specific program, you can apply and you can contact us and get also access to the tools and participate in these training programs. And if you want to participate in other type of formats, if you want to share about your work, we have the webinars, we have also the podcasts, and we also would like to do video blogs. But if you have a new format, you are also welcome to propose. What is still, or like it will be already framed, is these research goals that we are going to launch, which we expect to recruit students and researchers to dig into questions that will help the organizations that are conducting this data collection to enable these projects, or to that at the end of the data collection, we have also some material to talk with regulators or to talk with suppliers to know more how to go to the next step to develop their programs for their communities.
So thanks. In the meantime, a lot of more questions and raised hands are coming in. I would suggest perhaps with continuing with Filippo. Filippo, would you like to introduce your question or comment to the rest of the group? Otherwise, I can also, okay, please.
Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity to clarify my question. We as Tanzanians have not got the chance to be represented in the research project at this time. Therefore, I was asking if we will get the chance to participate in the conference, as you said that we're going to have a conference in December. Thank you.
Yes, the conference in December is not only restricted for the ones that are participating now, but it will be open for everyone. So there will be a call for proposing the subjects and topics, and ensure participation also from other parties. Thank you, Filippo.
Thanks. And then we had a short question from ADS. Is Mozambique eligible? Perhaps the colleague would like to perhaps more be specific for which eligible, which part of it?
And the conference will be virtual sound.
We can't hear you, unfortunately. You're still muted.
Hello.
Now we can hear.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I want to say that I want to, in Mozambique, we speak Portuguese. Okay, mas
yes.
Okay. I want to know that Mozambique is eligible to make this program.
Yes, it is eligible. So we are working with organizations from Latin America, from Africa and South Asia. And Angelica, which is here with us and is supporting us at the IMPACTR project and at EDERA, she speaks Portuguese. So you can write to her if you have further questions.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you very much. Then now we have Oscar, actually. As I do not speak French, unfortunately, perhaps you could just pose the question also directly, or, I mean, I don't know, Natalia, you speak French, so please, if you want to
Which one? Wait.
Question from Oscar CFAD at 2:31 p.m. Or perhaps Oscar, perhaps you.
So he's saying that that the communication is good, but it's in English, and if we can do the translation in French. You mean of the whole presentation? What we can do is to upload a presentation in our website. This presentation will be uploaded also in French. Okay.
Okay, thanks. It is not in the chat, but the Sheriff Aid Foundation had their hand up for quite a while. So now Sheriff Aid Foundation, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
I am from Sheriff Foundation, Nigeria. My question here is that I joined the meeting very late due to one or two reasons. And I want to ask, you have made mention of those organizations that are providing.
We can unfortunately only very badly hear you. Perhaps try it without the camera on.
Pardon?
We have great difficulties to understand what you are saying. Perhaps the connection is better if you would switch off the camera and just say your question.
Okay, are you with me now? Hello.
It's
yes.
Okay, can I go on?
Yeah, let's try again. I think the connection was not very good, but we can try again.
Okay. So now you can hear me. Can I proceed?
Yes.
Okay. My questions here is that, as I have told you that I joined the meeting late due to one or two problems I have encountered in joining the meeting. What I want to ask here is that you have made mention of those organizations that are qualified to participate in this data collection projects. So what I want to ask is, I want to know the list of the organizations selected. So this is my question. I am from Nigeria. Thank you.
Oh, I'm very sorry that I cannot hear very well, but if I understand well, like you participated in the first call, but you didn't qualify and you want to ask if you can still participate? Is that?
No, my question is I joined the meeting very late. So I was not at the meeting when you made mention of those people who are qualified to participate in the exercise. So now I want to know those people who are, or those organizations who are qualified for the exercise. So this is my question. Which organizations are qualified? I am Sheriff Aid Foundation from Nigeria.
Achim, can you help me? Or
unfortunately, it's unfortunately also for me very difficult to understand the question. Perhaps if you write it into the chat maybe, and then we actually could then respond to that. I'm very sorry, but the connection seemed not to work very well. Just write it into the chat, and then actually Natalia will respond to it. While you are writing, I would just then quickly go to the next one on my list. That would be Adinala, please.
Thanks, Achim, and thanks, Natalia, for this really well-structured presentation. I have a question regarding when the survey is being conducted, because what I saw from the presentation, what I understood from the presentation is that the survey would be conducted sometime in April over a period of 2 weeks. And what I imagine is that since most of the survey areas are predominantly in the tropics, especially the water and sanitation part of the survey would have seasonal variations in the people's requirements. So will the questionnaires also address what are your what are the requirement of the population is during the summertime and also during the rainy season? How does the questionnaire work? Could you please elaborate a bit more about it? Thanks.
So we are currently in the process of revising the questionnaires with each of the organization and seeing which are the which surveys should be adapted, which questions, and yeah, to add or to delete that do not affect the framework. And then after we're set up with the questionnaires and in their final version, for each organization, we are going to start with the training for the enumerators. The training, so we said that the data collection will start already in April, but it entails already the training for the project coordinator, and then the project coordinator will train the staff or the sales officer or the loan officers or the students with whom they are going to work. And this, it varies depending on the project. For instance, in Rwanda, they now here with Sustainable Villages Foundation, they will conduct baseline, the needs assessment in 1 week, and the baseline during a period of 2 weeks, and depending on the restrictions of the country. And with the other organizations, with the microfinance institutions, we have set up a period of 8 weeks. And we set up this long so that we have the loan officers. And for the loan officers, every day it will be just some few interviews that they will conduct. And then the last week of the month is always critical for microfinance institutions. So there will not be data collection in that week, and then restarting again beginning of the month. So there is not that's why the span of 8 to 10 weeks, starting from mid-April or beginning of March until end of June, or middle of June, end of June. And for those, as Mariel was saying, from Phronesis, French Guiana, if they want to do the data collection like more flexible during not 8 weeks, but three months or more, it is possible to do. It is only that the longest this period is, then the probability and likelihood that that the indicators will change of people that replied in April and those that will be replying in August. Then in a year, we will have again to have this extended period for the data collection. So the more compressed the data frame is, the better.
Yes, now it makes a much more practical sense as to why those periods have been selected. Yeah, thanks a lot for elaborating on this.
No problem. Thanks for your question.
Thanks. In the meantime, the Sheriff Aid Foundation have put the question into the chat. They have joined late, and he was not able to get the list of the selected organizations that will be participating in the project.
Okay. So let me go back to the map. So here we have the selected organizations. And here the ones with bold were the ones selected from the tender in Nicaragua, in Haiti, in Senegal, in Zambia, India, Uganda, and Nepal. And the other organizations in Colombia, in French Guiana, in Rwanda, and DRC are going to use the tools, but in a framework of different projects.
Okay, thanks. Then I would have on my list Macmillan Nankonya. Please, would you like to pose your question yourself?
Yes, I had indicated the question that I was asking, but I can repeat it. What I was saying was we applied, but we did not qualify. And we are asking, since we are involved in this and we are motivated more than the time we saw the call, and we are asking if there is any way we can do to support the project. That is the first question. The second question was, will we have access to the findings? Maybe they may be important in our area of operation.
Yes, what we are so we are doing these stakeholder mappings, and we have seen also from the applicants that there has been some organizations from the same country who are working even almost in similar areas, where even you can work together and also provide you, like in Malawi, you are here savings, you are as a SACO, microfinance institution. And from Malawi, we also had energy suppliers who were interested in this project. So we can support you by connecting you also with these organizations from your country. And if you will definitely would like to use the tools for your clients, we can also talk about this and participate. If you are rather interested in other formats, not only on the data collection, but rather in the webinars, the workshops, research project, podcast, video blogs, you can as well contact us for this.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, yeah.
Then we had a question from Base Soundarian. Conference is a virtual or physical?
It will be virtual. So far, it will be virtual. And I think, I hope that we keep this format.
Okay, thanks. Then we got one from Eugene from Entrepreneur du Monde. Would you like to pose the question yourself, or shall I read it out? Ah, there she is.
Can you hear me well?
Yes. Hello, Eugenie.
Yes, I can
nice.
Ask the question.
Nice background.
Yeah, I'm actually in my garden. I would like to have your view. So I'm part of the French NGO Entrepreneur du Monde, and we are very happy to be part of the project with our partner organization Palmis in Haiti and Pansoto in Senegal. And we have been working on gender mainstreaming over the past 4 years, and I wanted to have your view on the relevance of using the surveys to better understand the strategic needs of men and women in terms of access and control and decision making in relation to access to basic services. But as the surveys are household survey, do you think it makes sense to dig more into that question, or it's not the proper way? Thank you.
Yes, in the household roster survey, we have the first question is gender. So if collected, if we have this indicator, it will be possible to analyze all results based on gender. So that's the purpose of this household roster, is to have control variables so that we can have these comparisons of rural, urban, gender aspects, income levels, age, education levels, and so on. Now, in regards to the analysis of the data, what we can have is that in the dashboard, you will have all the frameworks, energy, wash, and food security, showed by these control variables. So now you will also have the opportunity to see how is there, if there are strong variations between men and women in regards to access to basic services. Okay.
Okay, thanks. There have been some other comments, but they were not immediate questions. The next question, as I understand it, is from Ronnie Sijuku, and it is about the slide with your MSCs and PhDs. If you probably go back to that slide.
Yes.
And then, Ronnie, perhaps you could ask your question, what was specifically difficult or what was unclear, let's say, in this regard.
Or I can explain it again.
Hello?
Yeah, Olusula, yes.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Ronnie.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't clear on your last note where you were asking us to come up with questions on masters and PhD thesis. I didn't get it clearly. Could you kindly elaborate? Because I was asking whether it's open, someone can come up with any research question or something like that. Can you kindly? Thank you.
So we have for the organizations that are working on this data collection, and also overall in the countries where we are working, we want to be sure that by the end, or not that after collecting the data and proposing how could this, or if there are specific technologies that could be offered, or if there could be programs that could be enhanced or promoted, we want to know if there are any other topic that must be researched before launching or before taking decisions in regards to enhancing the access to basic services. And for this, if not, that's conversations that we're having with each organization, like what could be some research questions that could help the organizations to develop their programs and their projects. And for this, we can, what we will do is not to put these research questions for master thesis topics or for PhD case studies or for bachelor seminars where we have students doing research in them. Yeah, that's why the focus regions are the countries where we are doing this data collection. If there will be more countries, then they will be added here. And these research questions will be to support these programs so that this collaboration, that it is not only that we get out, finalize this project or this campaign of data collection, and then we get more questions rather than solutions on how to continue. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalia. There was one comment, but not really a question in the chat, and otherwise there would be no further questions or comments right now, but we still have some 5 minutes left. So if you still have something which is unclear to you, some comment or anything else you would like to add, now is the moment. Okay, please, Govinda, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, hello all. Good evening from Kathmandu, Nepal.
Hello, Govinda.
This is my one feedback that that global map, in the highlighted area, the country is not other country, that is not Nepal. Maybe you have to correct it. I guess that is Bhutan.
From the... Sorry for that. It was
okay. No problem.
The designer.
Yeah. And other thing is, are you going to provide this recording to us?
Yes, it will be. Okay. It will be uploaded, and the recording as well as the presentation will be shared with all of you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you, Govinda.
That's all.
Okay, and then I think we have a last question, time for a last question, which is from user, whoever user is. And the questions are, was there any specific criteria for taken for selecting these countries? Will the list be enlarged? ? question mark?
Yeah, so the main criteria was, the first selection criteria was the economic proposal. And based on this economic proposal, because we have limited funds and we want to help as many organizations as possible, for us it was important to work with organizations that we can support, where the funding is viable, and as well the needs for this information is imperative for their programs. So besides of the financial proposal, then we had the what were the needs in regards to energy access, water and sanitation, and the experience of the institutions in providing services or plans that they have in going through these offerings of products and services for improving energy access and water, sanitation and hygiene, as well as food security within their communities. And as well, if they have the staff for this, if they could work with the tools, with the Android phones, and if they had the project coordinator had also experience in doing this type of research. It was a very tough process. We had more than 120 applicants from all 3 continents, and we went through all details of each application in a very intense period together with Angelica and here with the team at Edera, in order to revise these applications and also seeing what were the cost efficiency of proposal or the whole budget versus the number of surveys that we're able to collect. And different, I will say, from, because I have experience as consultant, what was key is that that we were managing fees that are mostly reflecting local rates or local fees, and not for international consultancies that were not, the pricing is different. That was the main process or selection. Yeah, thank you, Govinda. Thank you, Tresor and Sound, and Christian. Thank you for your participation.
And thank you, Natalia, for today's presentation. We are coming to the end of today's Tuesday talk. I thank you very much for all the input. As mentioned, we have recorded the session and will make it available, and the presentation itself, the PowerPoint, will also become available. And with that, I would like to close today's meeting and wish you all a very good day, wherever you are and whatever time zone you are currently, and all the best. See you around, hopefully, one way or the other in the future. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.